Hey guys, how you all doing? The Wrestling Guy back here today, joined by the chairman of the board and by Dad.
Hello.
So today, I'm going to hand over to the chairman, who's got a fun little quiz I hear in store for us.
Okay, yeah. So today I'm going to challenge the Wrestling Guy and Dad here as well to a game of real or fake. Okay, so the idea with this is I have come up with a list of 20 wrestlers, not popular ones, because some quite obscure ones on here. And I want you guys to tell me whether you think they are real or whether you think they are fake. Okay, I thought this would be an interesting challenge because we're going to use some of the Wrestling Guy's knowledge along with Dad's lack of knowledge and to see who comes out on top. All right. Okay. So I'm going to read you out the name of the wrestler and the company that they wrestled for, and then I'm going to give you a brief background on that wrestler, and then I want you to tell me whether you think they're real or fake. I'm going to tell you what I need you to write for each thing as well. So writing down real or fake now is not going to help you. So you can wipe that out for a start. All right. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Right. So we're going to start then with number one. The first one is Arachnaman, but for WCW. Now, he was dressed in a purple and yellow outfit which looked remarkably similar to a certain Marvel comic book superhero. Arachnaman graced the ring of WCW in 1991. Hailing from Web City, the 6-foot-tall, 233-pound Arachnaman would run into the ring and shoot silly string from his wrists, much to the delight of the young kids in the audience. Arachnaman had some success in the ring and was a good wrestler and a solid worker. However, this wasn't enough to save the not-so-superhero, especially when Marvel Comics got word of what was happening. Threatened with legal action by Marvel, World Championship Wrestling quickly ditched this character, and Arachnaman was sent back to Web City, never seen again. Now, if you think that this is real, I want you to put hero, and if you think this is a fake, I want you to put 0.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we ready? Okay, Wrestling Guy, what have you gone with?
Hero.
You've gone with hero. And Dad?
Hero.
You've gone with hero as well. You are both correct. Yes. Arachnaman was a wrestler in WCW in 1991. So 1 point to both of you. Good start.
Good start.
Okay, right. The next one. In the WWF, Calamity Jones. So Terry Jones was an in-ring veteran working for various independent companies throughout the 80s. Standing at 6 foot tall and weighing 240 pounds, Jones was finally called up to the WWF in 1989. As he debuted on TV, he came out and tripped out on the entrance ramp and rolled down to the bottom. The live crowd burst out laughing. This clearly affected him throughout the match as he made more blunders to the delight of the commentary team of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. They even went on to dub him Calamity Jones during the match. After this incident, you would have thought he would have be gone from WWF, but they decided to stick with him and make it a part of his character. Renaming him Calamity Jones, he would trip over the ropes in getting into the ring, struggle to get his ring jacket off, and generally look like a hapless fool. Other wrestlers soon complained to management that the character was damaging the reputation and spectacle of the business, and the character was scrapped after only 4 months. Jones returned to the independent scene until he retired in 1995. Now, if you think this is true, I want you to write real deal. And if you think this is false, I want you to write fall guy. So, Calamity Jones. Was Calamity Jones real or was he trying to say Wrestling Guy?
Full guy.
Full guy and
Full guy.
Full guy. You are both correct. Yes, he was one I'd made up. So, well done. 1 point again to both of you.
Good scenario.
Good job. All right. Okay, so the next one from TNA, Triton. So, in early 2005, TNA aired video packages hyping the debut of their newest wrestler, Triton. The gimmick had aspects of the Terminator, including wearing black leather attire and sunglasses, as well as the character's classic mannerisms. Even his finishing move was called the T3, the shortened name of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, and was taken off of Brock Lesnar's F5. Standing at 6 foot 10 inches tall and weighing 305 pounds, he was a big guy with a strong look. He debuted and immediately started stalking Monty Brown, who was the dominant star of the time and regularly disrupted his matches. In March, they finally fought each other at Destination X. Brown gained the upper hand, was about to hit Triton with his signature pounce finisher when the lights suddenly went out. When the lights were restored, a masked wrestler was stood in the ring in place of Triton. Brown pinned the Masked Man and was awarded the victory, but he never got his hands on Triton again. Any push for Triton was halted, and he wrestled sporadically with TNA until his contract expired in July later that year.
What year was this?
2005. So if you think this is true, I want you to put "I'll be back," and if you think that this is false, I want you to put "Hasta la vista, baby." So Triton a Terminator style rip off for TNA? Okay, so wrestling guy,
I'll be back.
I'll be back, and Dad,
I'll be back.
you're both correct. Yes, I'll be back. Yes, Triton was a real guy in TNA. I actually remember watching him. Decent look, but they did nothing with him. So, okay, so good start. 3 for 3 so far. Right. Okay. All right. Number 4. Okay, for the WWF, T.L. Hopper. So in 1996, WWF introduced us to the 5 foot 10 inches, 235 pound plumber T.L. Hopper. Hopper had a series of vignettes before finally having his wrestling match on TV. Dressed in low-hanging jeans and a stained vest, Hopper would walk to the ring accompanied by the sound of a flushing toilet. He was armed with his plunger, which he named Betsy, and would celebrate his victories by sticking Betsy in his opponent's face. Despite some success in the ring, Hopper never made it to the heights of wrestling on a pay-per-view event, with only an appearance on the pre-show of SummerSlam, where he was sent to investigate a brown object floating in the swimming pool, which turned out to be a sausage. In less than a year, the plumber left the company, supposedly returning to his former profession. So, if you think this one is true, I want you to put 2 true. And if you think this one is false, I want you to put number 2. Okay, so wrestling guy,
2 true.
you've gone 2 true, and Dad, you've gone
Number 2.
number 2. Okay, this one is actually 2 true. This was actually a genuine
I actually
wrestler.
knew this one.
Yeah, I have a feeling you might know that one. So 1 point there. Wrestling guy. So wrestling guy currently on 4, Dad currently on 3. But you're doing well for not knowing what he's.
That
All
was
right.
the first one that I actually knew.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I just want to see if I can just catch you guys out on at least one
Yeah.
of these. Right. Okay. So the next one for the WWF, Friar Ferguson. So in April 1993, we saw the arrival of Friar Ferguson. Dubbed the Mad Monk, Ferguson wrestled in bare feet at a monk's brown robe. Standing 6 foot 1 inches tall and weighing nearly 400 pounds, the monk entered the ring to the sounds of choral music. Despite being a man of the cloth, Ferguson enjoyed inflicting pain on his opponent and could be seen smiling and laughing as he knocked down his victims. The character did not go down well with fans, and after receiving negative feedback from the Catholic Church of New York, WWF decided to excommunicate Friar Ferguson after only a couple of months, and the wrestling monk was never seen again. So, for Friar Ferguson, if you think he's true, I want you to put saint. And if you think that he's a fake, I want you to put sinner. So, Friar Ferguson, is he the real deal? Is he a saint or is he a sinner? Wrestling guy?
See.
You put saint and...
Saint.
Saint. You're both correct. Yes, Friar Ferguson was a real wrestler in the WWF. Brilliant.
Good.
Okay. Right. The next one. Fry Guy Max Donald for WCW. So the 90s escalated a pop culture in the fast food industry, with McDonald's introducing supersized fries in 1992 and food chains like KFC expanding their franchises. WCW, always with their finger on the pop culture pulse, introduced us to Max Donald, a 6 foot 8 inch tall, 250 pound fast food cook who had been serving the local wrestlers in the fast food restaurants after the shows. Tall and thin, with short blonde hair, Donald would come to the ring wearing a red ring jacket and trunks, both emblazoned with a golden M on the back, whilst also eating a large carton of fries. He also had the entrance theme, "He Can Fly Like a Fry Guy," a terrible rip-off of "Pretty Fly for a White Guy" by The Offspring. He feuded with large guys like Tank Abbott, the Giant Invader, who would often mock his tall, skinny physique and try and steal his food. Dubbed a high flyer by the commentary team, Donald had some good top rope moves but lacked ring skills on the mat, and his win-loss record was unremarkable despite positive fan response. He lasted about 6 months with the company before being released. Speculation is that WCW may have had legal issues with McDonald's and dropped the character before a lawsuit could emerge, but this was never confirmed. So, if you think that this is true, I want you to put super size. And if you think this is a fake, I want you to put super lies. So, Fry Guy Max Donald. Is he the real deal or not? So, Wrestling Guy?
Super lies.
Super lies. And Dad?
Super lies, no fries.
Super lies, no fries. You are correct, yes.
Boom,
Yeah, the Fry Guy is a
boom, boom, boom.
figment of my imagination.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
it'd been interesting.
Yeah.
It'd have been an interesting one. Right, okay, the next one. From the WWF, Mike the Mechanic Rutherford. So in 1995, the World Wrestling Federation sponsored a Chevrolet Malibu car in the All-Pro Series. In an attempt to cross-promote, WWF introduced Mike the Mechanic Rutherford to the WWF audience. Standing 6 foot tall and weighing 235 pounds, hailing from Mobile, Alabama, Rutherford would be seen in a series of vignettes working with the WWF vehicle. He debuted for WWF during a TV taping in Alabama. The WWF car was filmed driving through the closed streets outside the arena. The car then screeched to a halt outside the doors and Rutherford got out. Dressed in his dirty work overalls, carrying a wrench, he entered the arena accompanied by revving engine noises instead of music. Despite success in the ring for Rutherford, especially with his pit stop finishing move, as well as victories over the likes of Bam Bam Bigelow, Jeff Jarrett and Crush, the WWF car was not so successful on the track and the company soon withdrew their sponsorship, and not long after that, the mechanic character was done and gone. So, if you think that this one is real, I want you to put checkered flag. And if you think that this one is fake, I want you to put pit stop. So, Mike the Mechanic Rutherford. Okay. Wrestling Guy?
Pit stop.
Pit stop.
Pit stop.
Pit stop. You are both correct. That is a pit stop. Yeah.
Good.
Any idea who Mike Rutherford is?
Yeah, he's in that band.
Mike and the Mechanics, yeah. All right, okay. Right, the next one then. From TNA, we have Hugh Mangus the Midget. So, in a failed attempt to mix fantasy and reality in 2002, TNA introduced us to a midget wrestler by the name of Hugh Mangus. Mangus, who stood 4 foot 5 inches tall and weighed 155 pounds, claimed he could defeat anyone on the TNA roster, stating that he had a magical power which came from an ancient Aztec luchador mask. His challenge was soon accepted by the man-beast Rhino, and a match was set for TNA's upcoming pay-per-view event. At the show, Rhino waited for the arrival of his smaller opponent. Mangus came out on the rampway dressed in a simple green singlet, carrying the mask in his hand. He stopped at the top of the ramp and donned the mask. There was an explosion and a puff of smoke at the top of the rampway. When the smoke cleared, instead of the diminutive wrestler, there stood a 6 foot 8 inch tall, 350 pound monster of a man dressed in the same green outfit and wearing the mask. The monster made short work of Rhino, defeating him in under 3 minutes with non-stop throws, hard-hitting punches, and a devastating chokeslam finisher. Upon leaving the ring and returning to the rampway, the man removed the mask, another explosion and a puff of smoke, and there stood the midget Mangus. Fan feedback was awful, with complaints that TNA were insulting fan intelligence and ruining the reputation of wrestling with this crappy cartoon gimmick. Large numbers of the crowd booed and chanted, "This show sucks," throughout the remainder of the pay-per-view, with some even walking out of the show itself. The gimmick was dropped immediately, and Hugh and his mysterious mask were never seen again. So, if you think that this one is real, I want you to put big deal. And if you think that this one is fake, I want you to put big fake. So, Hugh Mangus the Midget. Did TNA give us a monster midget wrestler? Wrestling Guy?
Big fake.
Big fake. And that?
Big fake, no cake.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Yep, Hugh Mangus was another one from the depths of the chairman's mind. Okay. Good. All right. Next one. Fantasio for the WWF. So a master illusionist, Fantasio made his debut in July 1995 on Wrestling Challenge, wearing black and white face paint underneath a matching face mask, black singlet, and a magician's jacket. Fantasio entered the arena and magically turned a candle into a walking cane and made smoke appear from his magic hat. During his debut match against Tony DeVito, who's no relation to Danny DeVito, Fantasio would continue with the magic, including throwing silly string at DeVito. Fantasio scored the win after reaching into the back of DeVito's tights and pulling out his underwear, showing them to the crowd before rolling up his opponent for the 1-2-3. After the match, he also reached into the back of the referee's trousers and removed his underwear too. After his debut match, Fantasio mysteriously disappeared and wasn't seen on TV again. So if you think this one is real, I would like you to put magic. And if you think that this one is fake, I would like you to put trick. Wrestling guy?
Magic.
And Dad?
Magic!
It is, yes.
It's another one, actually.
Yes, Fantasio was the real deal. It was an interesting idea, but I don't think it would have run for very long. All right. Okay, the next one for the WWF, the Berserker. So unleashed on the WWF in 1991 by his manager, Mr. Fuji, the Berserker immediately caught the attention of fans. Standing 6 foot 8 inches tall, weighing 323 pounds, and wearing a Viking helmet, furry boots, and a Viking tunic. The Berserker would often beat his smaller opponents down before throwing them over the top rope and leaving them lying on the arena floor for a count-out victory. Despite some interesting rivalries with the likes of the British Bulldog and Big Boss Man, he never obtained any real success. His career highlight was when he attempted to stab The Undertaker with his sword, driving it through the ring canvas as the dead man rolled out of the way. The Berserker left the company in early 1993, presumably looking for more places to loot and pillage. So if you think that this one is real, I would like you to put Raider. And if you think that this one is fake, I would like you to put Faker.
Raider!
And nothing.
Raider.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Okay, so you've had 10 so far, and currently the wrestling guy is on top 4 with all of them correct, and Dad is on 9. So not bad at all. Right. The next one for the WWF, Santa Claus. So during the December 1995 In Your House pay-per-view, Santa Claus came out to distribute gifts to the young fans with the help of Savio Vega. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase came out and made fun of Santa and his helper. In a shock turn of events, Santa then attacked Savio Vega and aligned himself with Ted DiBiase. We later learned that this was Santa Claus. Claiming to be Santa's evil brother and hailing from the South Pole, Santa would use nefarious and underhanded tactics along with hard-hitting and brutal maneuvers to dispatch his opponents. However, despite his success, Christmas characters won't last for long, and Santa only had a brief tenure in the WWE, but left a lasting impression. So, if you think that Santa Claus was real, I'd like you to put Good Boy, and if you think he's a fake, I want you to put Naughty List. Okay.
Good boy.
He's a good boy. And wrestling guy?
Good boy.
Good boy, yeah, you're both correct on that one, yeah. Strange gimmick, that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, some unusual ones on there. Right, okay. Right, the next one is for the WWF, Max Moon. So, hailing from outer space, Max Moon invaded the WWF in the fall of 1992. Dressed in a powder blue armoured bodysuit with markings that looked like circuit boards, this 5 foot 10 inch, 240 pound athlete looked like a man from the future. Coming to the ring wearing a futuristic jetpack that would propel him from the floor to the ring, along with wrist devices that shot out fireworks, Max Moon made an exciting and eye-catching entrance to his matches. Moon would pick up some wins against the likes of Rick Martel and the Repo Man before getting an Intercontinental Championship match against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels on the first ever episode of Raw. Moon lost, and this was the downhill spiral for his career, losing to mid-cards before eventually being released in early 1993 and returning to outer space. So, if you think that Max is real, I want you to put Spaceman, and if you think he's a fake, I want you to put No Way, Man. Okay, wrestling guy.
Spaceman.
And Dad?
No way, man.
Okay, so we've got a split one on this one. Okay, he is actually Spaceman. He's actually the real deal. Yes. Another short-lived one. Yes. So, do you know who played him originally?
No.
Conan.
Conan.
Yeah, Conan originally, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. The next one. Right, okay. So, in TNA, Curry Man. So, billed from Tokyo, Japan, Curry Man made his way to TNA Wrestling in 2008 after initially debuting in Japan several years earlier. Announced as being hot, spicy, and tasting great, Curry Man would dance down to the ring and show off his fancy footwork to the adoring crowd. At 5 foot 10 inches tall and 232 pounds, the masked wrestler with a plate of curry and rice balanced on top of his head not only provided cartoonish comedy for the fans, but also a top-class wrestler. He aligned himself with Shark Boy, and together they had some success. However, before the end of the year, Curry Man was involved in a Feast or Fired match and was successful in retrieving one of the 4 briefcases. The briefcase contained a pink slip and he was fired from TNA. He has been seen occasionally on the indie circuit entertaining wrestling fans with his hot and spicy dance moves and wrestling talent. So, if Curry Man is real, I want you to put red hot. And if you think he's a fake, I want you to put mild. Okay, wrestling guy?
Red hot.
Red hot. And
Mild.
mild. Okay, Curry Man is red hot. He's the real deal. And who was Curry Man?
I don't know.
Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels, yeah.
Is that the magic guy?
One of my absolute favourites, Christopher Daniels.
Magic guy.
No, that's Paul Daniels. I don't think he's doing much magic nowadays. No. Right, okay. So, another one. Right. Okay, so the wrestling guy's on 100% at the moment. I don't seem to be able to catch him out at the moment. So, see if I can catch him out with the next one. Okay. The next one then for the WWF, the British Butcher, Fred Elliott. So, in the late 1980s, wrestler Fred Elliott found himself leaving the dirty streets of Manchester, England, and heading to the bright lights of the WWF. Accompanied to the ring by Jimmy Mouth of the South Hart, Elliott debuted on WWF Challenge as the British Butcher. Carrying a meat cleaver and wearing black trousers, black rubber boots, and a dirty, blood-spattered apron, which he wore throughout the match, the 6 foot 2 inch, 423 pound Elliott looked a gruesome figure in the ring. His in-ring moves were vicious and devastating and were keenly encouraged by his manager Hart, who kept shouting for more pain to be inflicted while he waved Elliott's meat cleaver around. Despite some in-ring success, as well as working a small number of matches with the likes of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, the gimmick was suddenly dropped and Elliott was sent back home to England. Some speculate backstage politics involving Hogan criticising Elliott's stiff chops and hard hits, while others, rumours suggested that WWF weren't willing to push a British singles wrestler above their American homegrown talent. So if you think that the British Butcher is real, I want you to put prime rib. And if you think that he's fake, I want you to put horse meat. Okay, Dan?
Horse meat.
Horse meat. And wrestling guy?
Horse meat.
Horse meat. Okay, Fred Elliott is horse meat. Yeah, that's another one I made up. Anybody know who Fred Elliott is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember what does it. I know the name, but I don't know.
No?
Can't remember.
No. He was the butcher on Coronation Street. So, right. Okay. The next one then for the WWF. Who? With an anvil-shaped chest, impressive power moves, yellow mask, and trunks, Who began a brief but confusing career in the WWF. Hailing from who knows where, weighing who knows what, the masked competitor regularly impressed fans with his strength, whilst confusing the commentators with his name and identity. Typical commentary during a match included, who is in the ring? Yes, he is. Who is climbing to the top rope? That guy is. Who is refereeing this match? No, who is wrestling the match? Thankfully, the broadcast team didn't have to do this poor Abbott and Costello style joke for too long, and after losing a handful of matches, Who left the WWF and went back to who knows where. So if you think that this one is real, I want you to put who knew, and if you think that this one is fake, I want you to put who cares. Okay, so wrestling guy.
Who knew?
Who knew? And Dad?
Who cares?
Okay. Oh, so split one again on here. Okay, who knew? He's
Yeah.
actually a real one. Yes.
Another one that
Who was? Yeah. And did you know who
I
was?
can't remember.
No.
No.
Anvil Shapes Chest.
Oh, Jim.
Jim the
Neidhart.
Anvil Neidhart
Jim
was
Neidhart.
who? Yeah. Very cool. Right. Okay. So the next one from WCW, 8-Ball Eddie Felson. So in the 1990s, in the 1990s, WWF had a craze for unusual sports-related wrestlers, including baseball player Abe Knuckleball Schwartz and ice hockey player The Goon. WCW also tried to get in on this with their roster, including golfer hole-in-one Barry Darsow and pool player 8-Ball Eddie Felson. Felson was 6 foot 2 inches tall and weighed 260 pounds with a bald head. His video packages told of a man who travelled the bars and pool clubs hustling the patrons for their hard-earned cash. We saw that he had a short temper, and if he ever lost a game, he would wait outside the club until his opponent came out and attack them and rob them of their money. Dressed in a Hawaiian shirt covered in pool balls, black trunks with an 8 on the back, and carrying a pool cue to the ring, Felson looked like a pool-playing character, but his physique didn't fit in with the look of the wrestlers currently on the roster. Within a few minutes of his WCW debut on Nitro, it was apparent he didn't move like a wrestler either. His limited moveset and lack of ability was apparent to the fans, who started booing him and chanting "boring" within a few minutes of the match starting, and sarcastically cheering his opponent, a jobber called Vincent Lario. Within a few minutes, Felson got himself disqualified after hitting his opponent over the head with his pool cue. His opponent's head split open and was bleeding heavily as paramedics came to attend to him in the ring. It was later revealed that the pool cue had been a genuine cue and that Felson had used it without the permission of the company. Felson protested his innocence, claiming he'd been told by bookers to use the cue, but investigations found this wasn't true. Lario threatened to take WCW and Felson to court, but WCW settled matters with him. WCW also fired Felson after just that one match. So if you think that this one is real, I want you to put break shot. And if you think that this one is fake, I want you to put scratch. Okay. Dad?
Scratch.
And wrestling guy?
Scratch.
Scratch. Okay, this one is scratch. Yeah, there's another one that I've made up. Any idea who Eddie Felson is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, he's one of the characters in the Tom Cruise film The Colour of Money. And so was his opponent as well, Vincent Lario, was Tom Cruise. So, well done. Right, okay. So, okay, the next one from WCW, Oz. So 1991 was a very strange year for World Championship Wrestling. The company was now owned by billionaire Ted Turner, and WCW shows were broadcast on the Turner Broadcasting Network. At the same time, Turner Broadcasting purchased the MGM movie library. This was a big deal for the network, as the library included movies such as the 1939 classic The Wizard of Oz. Looking to cross-promote, WCW decided to bring in a wrestler called Oz. Billed at 7 foot tall and 325 pounds, wearing a long green cape, a wizard's hat, and a rubber mask with a fake white beard. Oz was even given a grand debut entrance at the Super Brawl pay-per-view, consisting of a castle, smoke machines, and green laser lights, along with stagehands dressed as Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. Accompanied to the ring by his manager, the Grand Wizard, Oz was greeted with moans, groans, boos, and bad language from the crowd, despite the commentary team trying to sell it like the second coming of Hulk Hogan. The spectacular entrance lasted 4 to 5 minutes. The match lasted less than 30 seconds, with Oz picking up an easy win. Oz was pushed strongly for about a month, winning several squash matches before the company realised the gimmick was not getting over with the crowd. After that, Oz picked up his first loss at the Great American Bash, and his losing streak continued until the end of the year, when Oz was finally put on the yellow brick road back to the Emerald City. So if you think that this one is real, I want you to put yellow brick road, and if you think this one is fake, I want you to put the road to nowhere. Okay, wrestling guy?
Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow brick road, and Dad?
The road to nowhere.
Okay, so split on this one again. Okay, Oz was Yellow Brick Road. He was a real one. So, which was absolutely terrible. And do you know who played Oz?
No.
No, Kevin Nash. It was Kevin Nash, one of Kevin Nash's.
Yeah, I remember the name.
Yeah,
But I heard that it wasn't very good.
yeah. If you do want to ever see the entrance on there, do go on YouTube and have a look through for it. It's quite a spectacular looking entrance, but the crowd is not into it at all. Absolutely terrible. Right. Okay. So the next one for WWF is the Collector, Jeff Albertson. So, in the early 90s, Bret Hart was on a roll with WWF as fans really connected with the Hitman's look and style. Recognised by his leather jacket, wraparound sunglasses, and pink and black wrestling gear, Hart was a standout figure when heading out to his matches. On one episode of Wrestling Challenge, however, during Hart's match with Mr. Perfect, a mysterious bearded man ran down to the ring, took the Hitman's leather jacket, and ran off through the crowd. Hart was naturally upset by this and took off after the mysterious man, thereby losing the match by countout. 2 weeks later, on another episode of Wrestling Challenge, the Big Boss Man had his nightstick stolen from ringside in similar fashion. This continued to happen to the WWF roster over the following weeks. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 2x4, Randy Savage's sunglasses, and Hercules' chains were pinched in similar fashion. Several weeks passed before we were finally introduced to the culprit behind these mysterious thefts. Calling himself the Collector, the 6'2", 280-pound thief, dressed in a red smoking jacket and matching wrestling tights, explained that he was a collector of wrestling memorabilia and gushed over his fabulous recent additions to his collection. He warned the rest of the roster that if he wanted it for his collection, he was going to take it, by any means necessary. Later that evening, he made his in-ring debut against Legion of Doom's Hawk. After winning the match with a modified sleeper hold, the Collector attempted to take the unconscious Hawk's spiked shoulder pads, only to be stopped on the rampway by Hawk's tag team partner, Animal. The gimmick was picking up momentum when WWF were hit with a sudden spate of real-life thefts from wrestlers' cars, gym bags, and hotel rooms. This concerned the company as well as superstars, who blamed the Collector character for encouraging copycat thefts. The next week on TV, a group of wrestlers led by Bret Hart ambushed the Collector and beat him down in the ring. They then stripped him of his boots, dragged him backstage, and he was thrown out of the fire door into the cold streets of New York, never to be seen or heard of again. So, if you think that the Collector is real, I want you to put collector's item. And if you think that the Collector is fake, I want you to put cheap tat. Okay, wrestling guy?
Cheap tap.
Cheap tat, and that?
Collector's item.
Okay, so the Collector, Jeff Albertson, is cheap tat. Yeah, it's another one that I've made up.
Very good idea.
It's not bad. Yeah, it wasn't
Not a
a
bad idea at all.
Not a bad one. I thought it was an interesting little argument.
Yeah.
Right. Any idea who Jeff Albertson is?
He's not a wrestler.
No.
Yeah, not wrestling.
No, he's not a wrestler. No, he is the real name of the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Okay.
Jeff Albertson. All right. Okay.
Love
And obviously they did a Treehouse of Horrors one where he was a villain called the Collector. All right. Okay, two more. All right. Okay, I still haven't caught the wrestling guy out yet. So, right. Okay, the next one from WCW, the Kiss Demon. So in 1999, Eric Bischoff was working for WCW and struck a deal with the heavy metal band Kiss to create a wrestler themed on the band. The Kiss Demon was the idea that they came up with. Standing 6'7" tall and weighing 275 pounds, the Kiss Demon was the wrestling alter ego of Gene Simmons, and was originally supposed to be the beginning of a stable called the Warriors of Kiss, with each stable member representing each member of the band. When the Kiss Demon debuted in August that year, at the end of an episode of Nitro, it proved to be a ratings flop, even with the band playing their hit song God of Thunder. Kiss had been guaranteed that their demon would wrestle a main event match, which was scheduled for New Year's Eve's pay-per-view. However, the pay-per-view and the match were taken away when Bischoff was fired in September. The powers that be did give the Kiss Demon, a special main event match in early 2000, but he lost the match due to a booking committee wanting to make Bischoff's idea look bad. Soon after that, the Kiss part of the name was dropped and the Demon was placed in a group called the Dark Carnival, but was soon split away from them. He continued to work with WCW until they were bought out in 2001 by the WWF. So if you think that Kiss Demon is real, I want you to put I was made for loving true. And if you think that he was fake, I want you to put crazy, crazy lies. Okay, so did WCW work with the band Kiss to create a wrestler called the Kiss Demon?
I can't remember what he said. I was made for loving true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was made
okay,
for loving
yeah,
true.
that's a true one as well, yeah. So WCW worked with the band Kiss to try and create. There's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
To try and market across music brand, but unfortunately, because he was fired, it all fell apart. So to be honest, it didn't go very well. So right, okay, the last one then. Can I catch the wrestling guy out on the last one? Here's hoping. Right, okay. The last one is the Milkman, Ernie Price, for WCW. So in 1993, the marketing slogan "Got Milk" was a cultural phenomenon across America. WCW decided to cash in on this and debuted the Milkman, Ernie Price. Price was 6'4", 286 pounds, with milky white skin, a bald head, and a little white moustache, but possessed a strong physique and muscular arms, which commentators said was down to his large milk consumption. Price would come to the ring dressed in a long white jacket, with the sleeves cut off to show his muscly arms, and white trunks, accompanied by two attractive milkmaids carrying baskets laden with milk cartons that they would distribute to the young audience members before his matches started. Despite Price's adequate ring skills and younger fan appeal, this character only made a small handful of appearances before it was quickly dropped by WCW after several complaints that the distributed milk had made some of the audience members sick during and after the shows. To avoid a lawsuit, the milkman gimmick was axed and Price was released by the company soon after. So, if you think Ernie Price is real, I want you to put Gold's top. And if you think that he's fake, I want you to put Gone Off. Okay. Wrestling guy.
Gone off.
Gone Off. And Dad?
Gone off.
Gone Off. And Ernie Price has gone off. Yes, that's another one that I've made up on there. So, any idea who Ernie Price was?
In the guy off Sesame Street.
No.
No?
Ernie Price was the name of the character in Benny Hill's song, Ernie the Fastest Milk Cart in the West. So, right. Okay, so that's all 20. And I can tell you that in second place, or runner-up, as you were, with 15, was Dad. But scoring full marks, so 20 out of 20 on that one, I could not catch him out at all, is the wrestling guy. So, well done, wrestling guy. Good job on there. So, I was hoping I was going to catch you out on at least one of them, and I didn't catch you out
It
on
was
a
very close.
single
Yeah,
one.
it was very close. There was a little bit of hesitation on.
I noticed a couple you hesitated on. I was
Yeah.
hoping I was going to get you, but
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try harder with my next one.
Yeah.
So, if you guys played along at home, let us know your scores down below. Did you beat Dad? Did you beat the wrestling guy? Well, obviously you couldn't beat the wrestling guy. But how did you score? Let us know down below in the comment section. And thank you to the chairman. That was a really, really good quiz.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next one.